Dear friends, welcome to the family of knowledge world. Today we will be discussing about the Government of India Act 1919. Okay, Montagu Chelmsford reforms. So previously we discussed the Morley-Minto reforms of 1909. So friends, the Morley-Minto reforms which we discussed, as in the previous lecture also, I told that it was not welcomed by Indians. So what happened in the meantime? In the meantime, Indians adopted various measures to make realize the British government that they should be granted a self-government. Okay, the various measures included militants activities, Swadeshi, boycott, all of those movements were adopted. Okay, so Indians did not agree to the British, and Indians also did not like the manner which they were suppressed. In the meantime, before coming to the final lecture, I request you all to please subscribe my channel. You people should help me by making this channel accessible to everyone. It's through your support only, friends, I can help everyone. I have made this channel only to help people who can't afford for the coaching exams as well as other exams. Okay, so you people should help me for this. So I request you all to please kindly subscribe and make this channel reach to more and more people who are studying and preparing and who want the knowledge of current affairs. Next video, we are coming with an interesting topic. That topic is the coup in Myanmar and its consequences in Myanmar, in the neighborhood and in the international stage. So please everyone subscribe my channel and like and share so that everyone can get this good information. Now we will return to the lecture. So what happened? The background of the act. Okay, so what happened? People, Indians, especially the Congress, was demanding the self-government. In the meantime, from 1914 to 1918, World War I took place. So Congress found the opportunity that they could ask British government self-government, because after the war that would not be so much of opportunity for them. So they demanded self-government. What happened? War came to an end in 1918. So before the war, in 1917, 20th August 1917, British government announced that the policy of His Majesty would be to increase the representation of Indians in all sectors like legislative, executive. So their policy would be to increase the representation, which would lead to the responsible government, and that would lead gradually to the self-government in the center, being India as an integral part of British Empire. So what they are telling is their policy would be to increase the representation of Indians in the legislature, executive, which would lead to the self-government, where Indians would have the opportunity to make laws, administer the countries. But there was an if and but. What was there? That India still would be the integral part of British Empire. That August 17 they announced. Following this announcement, 1919, the Government of India Act 1919 was enacted. So this act was known as Montagu Chelmsford reforms. Now let's go to provisions of the act. 1. The first provision is the system of diarchy was introduced in the provinces. I'll explain you what is the system of diarchy is. The system of diarchy means the dual government. So what is the dual government? The act, according to the act, the subjects would be divided into two categories: the transfer subjects and the reserved subjects. So the transfer subjects would be exercised by the governor on the advice of ministers. So these transfer subjects included education, public health, religious endowment, etc. And here the governor would not be responsible to the people, but the minister would be responsible. The reserved subjects was particularly reserved by the governor and his executive council. This would be exercised by the governor and executive council. And the reserved subjects portfolios would be education, law and order, etc. Education, law and order, finance, etc. Then next point is devolution. Okay, what is devolution? The subjects was further, here the subjects was divided into central and provincial. Central subjects, which was important for center, that is defense, foreign relations, political relations, communication, civil and criminal laws, all these things would be under the central, all these subjects would be under central government. Provincial subjects. The provincial subjects included education, law and order, public health, public work, all those things was exercised by the provinces. But in case if there is a deadlock, the central law would prevail. Then next point is, it introduced bicameralism. In the center there were two houses. The center composed of two houses. First, the Council of States, that consisted of 60 members, out of which 34 was elected and others were nominated. The term of the Council of States would be 5 years. Here there would be only male members. Then the Legislative Assembly. Here, out of 144 members, 104 would be elected and others would be nominated. There was a system of separate electorates also. Then next provision, first time it introduced Indian Civil Service Commission. Before that there was the British Civil Service and people used to go to London and give British Civil Service exams. But here there was first time Indian Civil Service Commission. Then next point is, the Office of High Commissioner was established in London. So the Office of High Commissioner, it was same like ambassadors. Okay, so first time Indian High Commissioner was appointed in London, where he could carry out, he was a diplomat of India. Then let's come to the importance of the Act. First time the Act provided the system of responsible government. First time the Act provided the system of responsible government in the provinces. Even though there was reserve and transfer, but the concept of responsible government came. Next one is, there was first time federation was introduced with a tight unitary. Some features of federation was introduced. Federation means devolution of power, where you have the central and state government. And next point is, the system of election was known to the people now. Many, even though there were limited franchise, but still more people could vote compared to other elections. The defects of the Act. The defects of the Act is, first, the Viceroy, that is Governor General, had extra amount of powers. For example, still the Viceroy dominated. For example, in case of any emergency, it was the Viceroy who could issue ordinances. Even though the bills was passed, if Viceroy feels that it is important, he would send it to the approval of Crown. He had the veto power. He could also veto it. He had the veto power also. And in case of the bill not getting accepted, the Viceroy could veto it if he feels that the bill is not for importance. Okay. In the provinces, the governor was more powerful because he had major portfolios such as finance, law and order, and also finance, law and order, land revenue, all these things, all important portfolios was under governor. So governor could pass any law in the matter of this. He was not questionable. But transfer subjects like education and all those things was under ministers, and the ministers were questioned by public as well as the legislatures. So here also governor dominated, and it was Viceroy who would decide that whether the particular subject is provincial or central. If it was central, the Viceroy and the Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly had more powers. Now let's come for the important facts. So Lord Montagu was the Secretary of State when Montagu Chelmsford reform was passed, and Mr. Montagu was the Secretary of State and Lord Chelmsford was the Viceroy. And this act became operational in 1921. Okay. This act also was rejected by Congress and nationalists because they felt that still Governor General played an important role and Indians had no actual power for the self-government. Friends, this is the end of the lecture. If you have any questions, you can comment me, and I request you to please subscribe, like and share this channel. Thank you.